Welcome back to Tarik Talk. Walking into the Whitney Museum during the 2026 Biennial, you move through a series of environments that feel both personal and expansive. The Whitney itself, open to the city, layered with terraces, light, and industrial materials, becomes part of the experience. It's a museum designed not just to display art, but to hold it in dialogue with the world outside. And within this biennial, curated by Marcela Guerrero and Drew Sawyer, that dialogue feels especially intimate. This edition brings together artists responding to a moment shaped by instability, loss, and transformation. Rather than offering clear narratives, the exhibition leans into atmosphere, into feeling. It's about how art holds memory, how it processes change, and how it reflects the fragility of the present. Kelly Akashi's work sits powerfully within this context. Her installation, Monument, Altadena, is immediately striking. At first glance, you see a structure that feels architectural, a chimney standing upright, reconstructed with precision. But as you move closer, the material shifts your perception. It's made of luminous glass brick, catching and refracting light, turning something solid into something almost ethereal. This work begins with loss. After the Eaton fire in California, Akashi's home and studio were destroyed. The chimney was the only structure left standing. What she presents here is not just a reconstruction, but a transformation of that memory. Working with a mason, she rebuilds the chimney piece by piece, but in glass, a material that holds both fragility and permanence. It becomes a monument, but not in the traditional sense. It's not about grandeur or permanence in stone, it's about vulnerability. The transparency of the glass allows light to pass through, suggesting absence as much as presence. You're looking at something that once held a home, a life, a history, and now exists as a luminous trace. There's something deeply emotional in that translation. The work doesn't dramatize the loss. It holds it quietly. It invites you to stand with it, to feel the weight of what's no longer there, while also recognizing what remains. Nearby, Inheritance Distressed offers a different but connected gesture. Here, Akashi takes something incredibly delicate, a doily once belonging to her grandmother, and reimagines it in Core 10 steel. The original object, saved from a family garage sale, was later lost in the same fire. What remains is its memory, its imprint. And that imprint is transformed into something heavy, industrial, and enduring. The contrast is striking. Lace, often associated with domesticity, care, and femininity, is translated into a material historically tied to minimalist sculpture, a movement often dominated by masculine forms and industrial aesthetics. In doing this, Akashi bridges personal history with art history, questioning what gets preserved, what gets valued, and how those narratives are constructed. There's tension in the work, between softness and hardness, between fragility and strength, between what is inherited and what is lost. And that tension echoes throughout the Whitney Biennial. This exhibition is deeply concerned with relationships, between people, between histories, between materials, and meaning. Akashi's work embodies that idea. It connects the personal to the collective, the intimate to the institutional. The Whitney's architecture amplifies this experience. On the terrace, where light, air, and the city surround you, Monument Altadena feels almost exposed, part of the environment rather than separate from it. It becomes a space you move around, not just look at. And that movement matters, because Akashi's work isn't static. It shifts depending on where you stand, how the light hits it, how you carry your own experiences into it. In the context of the Whitney Biennial 2026, her work becomes more than a reflection on personal loss. It becomes part of a larger conversation about memory, resilience, and the ways we rebuild, physically, emotionally, and historically. You leave her work with a quiet awareness that even in loss, something remains. And sometimes what remains is transformed into something entirely new.